Fam, can y'all see me, hear me okay? Okay. All right. Welcome. So let's go and get started. Fam. I appreciate you all for coming in. So let me introduce myself. My name is Kim Marie McLeod. Make sure y'all can see that. Okay. So my name is Kim Marie McLeod. Get that right, because there's a lot of Kim McLeods in the world, and I just want to make sure that you have the right one. So I always like to add in my middle name, Marie, my full government name. People wonder, you shouldn't be scared about that. You know what? They already got all our information. So it's not really much more you can hide, okay? Big Brother's already out there. The government already got all our information. So name is Kim Marie McLeod. Make sure you get that right. All right. So I am an independent travel agent. My host agency is within Teletravel. My personal travel business is Beautiful Time Travel. Beautiful Time Travel. I am here to have a beautiful time. All right. That is my slogan. I am here for a beautiful time. And you also should be here for a beautiful time too. So with that being said, I have noticed I have been going live for the past, 3 or 4 weeks on a Sunday. And I just realized, this just may be a good time, a good day to continue to go live. As in viewership, it varies. So, like I said, but of course, y'all going to have the replay. You can always go back and catch the replay, of course. Understand Sundays for a lot of people are day for church, a day for family, a day of rest for many, a day of relaxation for many. I know many of you are getting ready for the new week, which may involve work. I know we're in the summertime, so it may not necessarily involve school unless you're in summer school. But a lot of you all are similar to me, that you are settled in your careers and you work generally Monday through Friday. For some of you, you work on Saturdays. For some of you, you may even work on Sundays. But today is Sunday travel, and I'm just going to start calling it Sunday Travel Sunday, with your beautiful time travel independent agent, Kim Marie McLeod. So we got that established. All right. So let us go into, there's 2 things that I would like to discuss with you all today is some current summer deals. Current summer deals for celebrity cruises, as well as 2 specific celebrity cruises coming up in November 2025 and December 2025. I have been promoting this November 2025 cruise since July of 2024. When I first booked this group cruise as a travel agent, I remember sharing some videos with you all and just sharing with you all how quick 2025 is going to come and how quick it's going to be when we are ready to actually pay our final payment. And here we are. 2024 flew by. 2025, I feel like it's definitely going by much faster than 2024. I just feel like I was writing a check the other day. What day was that? I think that was Friday. I was either Friday or Saturday. I think it was Friday maybe. But I was writing a check, and of course it was for a bill for July. And I'm like, there's no way it's July. And I literally marked it June. I'm like, it's for June, not for July. And I'm like, no, it is for July. Like, it is so hard to believe that Tuesday, in 2 days, we will be in July of 2025. We will be officially less than a half a year left of the year. Tomorrow, we would literally be halfway through the year, fam. And I hope that many of you can attest and give you the credit that you actually been able to accomplish some of your goals from January 2025 to June of 2025. If you feel like you don't know what in the world happened from January 2025 to June 2025, guess what? There's still time left. You still have all of July until December 31st to accomplish some of your goals. So, with that being said, I want to get into these specific trips for Celebrity Cruises. So, the first cruise is a group cruise. Now, like I said, I know I'm reiterating some information that some of you have already listened, but this cruise was originally for Christian single adults 21 years and older, because I had noticed prior to me booking this trip in July, I heard a lot of conversations surrounding that there's not necessarily a lot of things to do for Christian single adults that is, safe and healthy, and not necessarily including like anything that's going to compromise their spiritual well-being or their relationship with God. Okay. So I thought to myself, as being new in this travel business, because I started this travel business back in February 2024. So I figured, okay, well, since I started this, maybe this be an opportunity for me to help the community. And so with me helping the community, I have sent out, I honestly don't have the number. Honestly, I honestly don't even have the time to go back and review all the Facebook DM messages, the Instagram instant messaging. I have sent out a lot of text messaging. I did do some phone calls. I actually shared with a lot of people, to even share with people that were married, and just telling them if they could share this with their, single Christian family and friends and churches or whatever. So I think I actually shared it with a few churches as well. So I sent out a lot of information. I also did a few videos. Didn't do a whole lot. I will say that I didn't do as many videos maybe as I should have between July and up until like April of this year. But I know I've been definitely maximizing on a lot of videos in the month of May and the month of June. But I also remember during July up until about, I would say about January of this year, I do remember doing a lot of posts. Like I posted a lot about this group cruise, and I put out a flyer, and I had all the details on a flyer. I actually did, I want to say I did a total of 4 Zoom calls with all the information. So I can also go through my email and also do my best to try to share that if needed, if I can even find it. But that's been such a while ago. But I do have, I'm sure it's in my storage, my Zoom storage, that I have 4 Zoom recordings sharing a lot of information about this group. Now, actually, I had a total of 8 rooms, and then I added one more room because we was getting full. So I would say like in December, I want to say we had 5. I want to say we had 5 rooms. No, I think we had like 6 or 7 rooms booked by December. And unfortunately, we've had 5 people we had 5 reservations canceled, and various reasons and whatnot. Life happens and all of that. And so with that happening, I'm like, okay, well, let's continue on. So even I want to say like in May, that's when like it was confirmed, where most of actually all but 2 reservations were canceled. I said, okay, let's go ahead and start doing more videos. And I also updated the flyer. I continue to put the flyer out weekly to share the information. And even from the month of May, even for the month of June, I continue to text people, text my Christian singles, as well as I text, my single my married friends, and just, of course, like I said, asking them to also share the information with their single community. And this past, I want to say this past couple weeks, I also shared it in one of the videos that I've been sharing live here, that I'm going to open it up to anyone that's a friend of mine, or you are a friend of mine. So if you're a direct friend of mine, or say if there's a friend that I know that has referred you over to this group, you are welcome to go on this trip. It doesn't matter that you are married or single. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or not. Okay, this is a friendship cruise. And the thing about it is, when I first started this group, the name of the group that I put on the group, because when you're booking a group as a independent travel agent, with cruise lines, they will ask you to name the group. So I named the group Top Tier Friendship Cruise. Top Tier Friendship Cruise. And so with that naming, I was like, great. Now, like I said, at the time, I was only opening up for Christian singles. But now that I realize that at this moment, that there's not much to be 100% honest with you all, there's not much of a response from Christian adults that are single and 21 and older that seem to be interested or able to come. So I'm opening it up to, like I said, if you are a friend of mine, okay? If you are a direct friend of mine, or you are a mutual friend of someone that knows me, feel free to contact me for this group cruise that's happening in November. How can you contact me? You can contact me by phone. That number is 757-685-2977. That number again is 757-685-2977. You can, so I'll be very honest with you all. I do have a very busy schedule practically every day of the week. But when it comes to business, when it comes to friendship and all that stuff, I make time, okay? I never want to be a person, I never want to be a family member or a friend or a business owner that it literally takes a week or 2 weeks to hear back from me, or you just never hear from me. I'm not in the business of ghosting. If I'm not able to help you, I'll let you know if I'm not able to help you. But I really don't want to become a person that I've just become so busy that I cannot contact you. I say all that as a disclaimer. When you contact me, if you do not get an immediate answer from me when you call me, like I'm not able to answer the phone, please leave a detailed voicemail message. Please leave a detailed voice message, and or text me. You are more than welcome to text me as well. Okay, tell me, who you are, and also tell me why you're texting me. Also, you can get in contact with me by email. My travel email is beautifultravel247@gmail.com. That is beautifultravel247@gmail.com. That's beautiful, BEAUTIFUL, travel, TRAVEL, 247@gmail.com. Feel free to also send me your email. Either way, if you choose to work with me as your independent travel agent, I will need to have your email for me to send you quotes. That's how I send my travel quotes, is by email. And if you choose to book a cruise from me, say if you choose to book this group cruise from me, that's how I would send you your updated invoices and any other thing that's related to your trip in detail, because it could get really messy and just too much to try and send everything through text message, but it's just even more professional just to be able to send these things to you by email. Okay, you also, if you're listening right now on Facebook, you can also direct message me on Messenger. Okay, I've been doing a better job since April with getting on Messenger. I'll be very honest with you all. It was months, I would say probably like a year, that I barely used my Messenger. So I just want to say I apologize for anyone that was trying to get in contact with me and via Messenger prior to April of 2025, because I'll be honest with you, fam, I barely even used Messenger. But now I notice that a lot more people are communicating by Messenger. So I try to leave that open communication as well, open through Messenger. All right. So just allow, if I'm not able to respond immediately through any of these forms of communication, please allow between 24 hours and 48 hours before I can reach out to you. More than likely, I could reach out to you sooner than that, but just allow 24 hours or 48 hours for me to reach out to you, because I'm running about 3 businesses right now. Okay. We have the 2 sides of the travel business, and I also have my counseling business. So please understand that I am a busy woman, so there's always something to be done. And even outside of business with counseling and business with travel, I also have a personal life, and I also have to have time to rest as well. But I say all that to say, make sure you reach out if you are interested in this particular group cruise, top tier friendship cruise with Celebrity Cruises. This is going to be with the Celebrity Silhouette. This will be my first time on the Celebrity Silhouette. This will be my second time cruising with Celebrity Cruises. My first time cruising with Celebrity Cruises were back in November of 2024. I cruised on the Celebrity Apex, and it was amazing. I have several videos. I have reels, pictures, all about that. If you're interested about the Apex, I'd be more than willing to share my experience with that. But today we're not sharing the experience that I had back in November 2024. But I fell in love with Celebrity way before I even cruised with them. I had booked my November cruise back in like March 2023. And I've been following Celebrity. I want to say I've been following them online since 2021 and 2022. I think it's been like 22. Yeah, I want to say since been like 2022 is when I've been consistently following Celebrity Cruises online through their Instagram page, through their YouTube, just watching a lot of people like reviews and videos. And I just absolutely fell in love with Celebrity. And when I actually did my first cruise, it was just amazing. So I stand by Celebrity. I love them so much. They really know how to make their guests feel like a celebrity. Top tier service, excellent accommodations, and they offer such great deals even for what you get. You get a lot for the money that you spend, and you can't say that for every type of travel, but you can definitely say that for Celebrity Cruises. So with that being said, we're going November 15th to November 23rd. We are leaving on a Saturday. The ship will leave on a Saturday. I think it leaves like around 4 o'clock. So generally, you need to be on a ship about 2 hours, at least 2 hours before the ship sails out. So we are leaving November 15th to November 23rd. We will return back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida on Sunday, November 23rd. So the port that we're going to be starting out from will be Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And so it's actually called like Port Everglades, but Port Everglades, Fort Lauderdale, it's literally the cruise port. Fort Lauderdale cruise port is literally like 10 minutes from the airport. It's like 10 minutes from Dania Beach, which is a really great area where I stayed the last time. And I'm hoping I can stay again during my pre and post cruise vacation. But it's a really great area. Plenty to do in that area, plenty of hotels, plenty of houses, plenty of food to eat, you're literally right next. I mean, it's right off the highway, literally, like right off the highway. So it's a fairly well-known place. Port Everglades, they've been in the cruising business for many, many years. All right, they're not new to the cruise world. So we'll be leaving for Fort Lauderdale. And the thing about Celebrity, they actually have their own like terminal as well, which is cool. Because you'll notice that some cruise lines have their own like cruise terminals, which is really great. And how Celebrity has that set up. But we are going to Aruba. We are going to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. That is known as the ABC Islands. A lot of people that I've been speaking with about this cruise have told me and has informed me they have not been to the ABC Islands. So this is a great opportunity for you all to experience the ABC Islands. This will be my first time as well visiting the ABC Islands. So I'm very much looking forward to experiencing that and coming back and sharing with you all that experience for those that was not able to make it for this November. But I'm speaking of faith and hoping and praying that many of you will come and join us this November 15th through the 23rd. With that being said, we do have some really great cruise rates that if you give me a moment, I'm going to share the group rates for this. Okay, now the group rates is set up as two guest occupancy. Okay, most cruise ships sell their staterooms based on 2 people in the room. Now, yes, depending on the cruise ship and the sailing and the room availability, sometimes cruise ships will offer a single room a supplement. Some cruise lines are doing a lot better in like in the past few years with having more rooms for single travelers. Solo traveling has been really improving and increasing in the past several years, and people are just not only solo traveling, backpacking, or to resorts, but there has been an increase of solo travelers going on cruises. So cruise lines have become smarter and how can I put it, more accommodating for solo travelers. So even with some of celebrity ships, they have solo rooms. But for this group in particular, the rooms that was given to me to share with you all and to book with you all are based on 2 guest occupancy. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you want to go on this trip as a solo. You want to stay in a stateroom by yourself. Just note that you will be still pretty much paying for the whole room, but you will not be paying. You will only be paying taxes and fees for one person. You will only be paying gratuities for one person. Okay. Now, depending on the day that you choose to book, they may be a promotional, may or may be not. If there is a promotional, we're able to put that in for you on your booking. Okay, so the price will decrease. Now, I will let you all know right now as I go in and share with you all the group rates. Now, the group rates have been fixed since last July, since July 2024. These were the group rates that was shared with me directly from the cruise line. Okay, it's in my portal. Okay, they have it on file. I have been keeping a very close eye out on this cruise and other cruises. And what I have found out and what I have seen with my own eyes is on the consumer website on Celebrity Cruises. So this is not something I'm making up, but what I have noticed in the past 2 weeks, as I have looked very closely, just about daily, at these rates, I have seen pricing go up to $1,400 more for the consumer for this exact same trip. even for the exact same deck that I have booked myself and my other guests, okay? $1,400 more. Okay. So once again, I just want to remind you all, as your independent travel agent and as your certified Celebrity Cruises travel advisor, because I am certified with Celebrity Cruises, I will always have the best deal. I will always have the best deal based upon best quality and best value. Okay. So I understand some of you all really love searching out vacation on your own. And if that's something you're doing and that's not your business, we may need to have a separate conversation because you could be possibly losing money. But for this particular video, I just want to share with you, leave that with me, because yes, you may be seeing quote unquote some great deals online on your own, but please note that as your travel agent, there's a 100% possibility guaranteed that I will have a better deal. And I will stand on that. Like I said, I have evidence to prove that. I'm not making this up here. And I know some people are leery because they feel like some people trying to get over on you. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If you don't know me, by no means I'm trying to get over on you with travel. That's not even on my mind. For real. Like, because me personally, I've been doing this before I even became an independent travel agent, okay? Like, I have always been that friend to help book travel, review the hotels, review the area, look at the YouTube channels, look at all the Google reviews, look at other travel reviews, talking to other people that may have been in that area, been on that trip. I was always that person looking for the best deal possible. I was always that person saying, I will not pay full price. So I completely understand if you are similar to me, but please note that as skilled as you are doing this by yourself without your travel agent credentials or having a travel agent, I'm going to be very honest with you that you are not getting the best deal. Okay. You may be getting a good deal. You may be getting a great deal, but you're not getting the best deal. You're not getting a better deal that I can give to you. So with this particular cruise, if you can allow for me, take a moment and I would like to review the group rates for this particular cruise. Once again, I'm gonna remind you all again of this cruise. So this is the top tier friendship cruise with Celebrity Cruises on the Celebrity Silhouette, this November 15th through the 23rd, 2025. Today is June 29th. So we literally have all of July, August, September, October. So we have 4.5 months before we leave. Can you believe that? 4.5 months. I remember when I was sharing this trip with people back in last July and August. I can't tell you how many people were saying, oh, is it this November? No, it's next November. You have literally a year and a few months to plan for this. And some people felt like that was too far in advance, or unable to plan that far up. I'm here to tell you, friends, I'm here to tell you, family, if you don't plan now for your next vacation, it may not happen. And if you wait to the last minute, like if you're a person that wait to like the month before or a few weeks before or even 3 months before, you may end up paying a significant amount higher than what you could have paid if you would choose to plan early. And the thing, when you plan early, that does not mean that you have to pay the full price. Most cruise lines give you the opportunity to make payments throughout. Okay, we're talking about interest free payments. We're not talking about taking out a loan or doing anything special. Yes, there is financing, but at this moment, I have not financed any like cruises for anyone. Okay, now if that's something you want to do, we could talk about it. But you don't have to do that. Like, you can pay your cruise in full, in cash. You can do it. I promise you, you can do it. There's a way. If you need help, this is why I'm here to help you do this. Okay? Because I remember back in July and August, I was encouraging my group to put away $40, $50, $60 every time you got paid. And then if you continue to do that, you will be able to pay the cruise even probably early, right? So at this moment, like I said, we're leaving November 15th through November 23rd. That's a Friday, and we come back on a Sunday morning. Okay, this is 8 nights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 nights. We're going to Aruba, Bonaire, and Carousel. This is the top tier friendship cruise. If you are a friend of mine, okay, that's 21 years and older, Christian, non-believer, single, married, you're a friend of mine, and if you are a mutual friend, whereas that we may not be friends directly, but you have a friend that knows me, let's have a conversation. I would love to connect with you, and I would love to help book you. For my couples out there, I have friends that are married. Wow, y'all, like, this can be an incredible trip for you and your spouse to come and join on this trip. And guess what? By no means we have to say that you always have to be around us. You don't. Okay, y'all can have dinner by yourselves. Y'all can have breakfast by yourself. Y'all can connect with us anytime y'all want to. And if you don't, that's fine. That is fine. But this group right here guarantees you a phenomenal, I mean, when I say this would give you a phenomenal rate, okay, and price. So I only have one veranda. That's a balcony. I only have one balcony, aka veranda. They call their balconies verandas, okay? I have one left at this price. That price is $3,370.32. $33.70 That's $3,370.32. I only have one more room left on that price. Okay, so for an example, let's just say someone comes out, reach out to me this Sunday evening and say, Kim, I'm interested in this group. Can you go ahead and book me tonight? Let's do this. I book you, and let's say someone tomorrow reaches out to me and say, Kim, can I also get that veranda? And I'll tell you, well, someone beat you to it. I booked the last veranda on this rate for last night. But guess what? You can still book the trip, but you have to book it at more than likely a higher rate. Okay, depending on today's price. So if today's price is more than $33.70, which more than likely it will be, you have to pay a higher price, because those was the rooms that was given to me at that fixed cost and rate. Okay, so you have to act fast. And then I have 2 ocean view rooms left. What that is a room with a window. You do not open the window. You can't even open the window. Don't try to open the window, okay? It's just a window that you can see the ocean, okay? I have 2 more rooms left for the ocean view, and that price is $3,190.32. That price again is $3,190.32. 2 rooms left for the ocean view. Then the inside room, we have $2,730.16. Inside room is $2,730.16. This is the inside stateroom, whereas there's no window, there's no balcony, it's just walls, but you have everything you need. And when the lights are off, it is pitch black, like scary pitch black. Okay. So for those of you that are similar to me that actually like sleeping in darkness, this may be the perfect room for you. Okay. I have 2 more rooms left at that price. All right. Now, the prices that I shared with you all, I'm going to share the prices one more time with you. So the veranda is $3,370.32. One more room left on that group rate. The ocean view, I have 2 more rooms left. $3,190.32. $3,190.32. Then I have the inside room. I have 2 more left at this rate. $2,730.16. $2,730.16. 2 more left. Now, with the rates that I have shared with you, this is what it includes. It includes your taxes, your fees, your port fees. Okay. It also includes your actual state room, the room that you're going to be staying in. Beautiful rooms. Okay. You're going to have everything you need. You're going to have your bed. They have queen size beds. If you're going to have someone else in a room, we can request to have the room split into, I think it's into twins. And, or if you want to keep the rooms, keep the bed, together as a king, you can do that as well. You're going to have a lovely, spacious bathroom with toilet, with shower. The great thing about Silhouette and many of their ships that they have the glass doors, so no more shower curtains, okay? Only some of you all will understand this. No more shower curtains, people. So you have your glass door shower. I've seen many videos and pictures, and it looks like it's going to be a great spacious bathroom. You're going to have your sink, of course. They do offer you body wash, shampoo and conditioner, and lotion if you want to help with decreasing the amount of items that you choose to pack. That is an option. When I was on the Apex back in November, I did use some of their products. Their products were okay. They were okay. So you can survive with those products if you either forget or you just choose to decrease on the amount of items that you pack. All right. You'll also have like a desk area. You'll have mirror. You'll have a TV. So you'll have everything you need. Also, every room comes with a robe. So when I was in my Apex cruise back in November, I actually really loved that kind of personal touch that you had a robe. So I really enjoyed that. So you have everything in your room. No worries, okay? No worries, fam. Also, what comes with this group rate will be all of your food. You will have plenty of food to eat. No worries. The cruise ship will not starve you. You will not be starved, okay? If you're hungry, it's just because you choose not to eat. You will have the Ocean View Cafe, which is their pretty much buffet, which I've heard really great things about the Silhouette buffet. When I was on the Apex, I really enjoyed the Ocean View Cafe. Plenty of things to eat. You'll also have the Mass Grill, which serves burgers and hot dogs and fries. You also have the main dining room, which serves the dinner. I think on some days it may serve breakfast, I believe. Then you also have, so that what comes with the actual, that's your food choices that comes with the price, comes with the group rate, okay? Now, yes, there will be some specialty restaurants that you may want to choose to spend extra on. That's completely up to you. But there's plenty of food to eat with the group rate that I've shared with you as well. Also, what comes with this group rate that you pay also comes with the classic drink package. The classic drink package. So those are the cocktails, mocktails. It also comes with your sodas, bottled water. If you are a coffee person, you like variety of different coffees. You can also order specialty coffee. If you're a tea person, I'm more so a tea person. So I can order specialty teas. Now the ship also have complimentary coffees and teas as well. But we were able to get all of that. So we were able to get the complimentary, but we were also able to get the specialty things that normally cost an additional fee. But our classic drink package will cover that. Okay. Now you're getting all of that for that rate. And guess what? We're not even done with what you're going to also get. You're going to also receive basic Wi-Fi. You're going to also receive basic Wi-Fi as part of the group rate. Okay. You'll also receive that. And there's also a perk that's also that you will also get, but I am not sharing that on video. You will actually have to book with me and find out what that special perk will be for booking with me and booking with this group rate. So you get all of that. You will also get all of your entertainment. I mean, Celebrity just does a really great job with entertainment. So there's going to be entertainment all throughout the day, from morning, afternoon, evening, and even late night. Plenty of things to do. Okay. Like I said, your rate also includes your transportation to the ports. So you have transportation getting to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. Now you will have to pay extra on what you choose to do on those islands, but that comes with the port expenses, right? And those port fees on getting you there. You get all of that for that rate. And, honestly, I don't think that we can necessarily put a dollar sign on memories, okay? So also think about all the incredible memories that you're going to be making with your friends, okay? And, like I said, it's a top tier friendship cruise. So let's say that you come and you want to bring your adult siblings, or you want to bring your adult cousins with you, or you want to come with your aunt or uncle, or you want to come with your parents. Come along. Let's all, we're all friends here. We're at the end of the day, yes, we're friends, but we're all family at the end of the day as well. So let's come out to the top tier friendship cruise. That's what you're getting in that group rate. Also, to add, now, when I book you for this, what I'm going to also do is I'm going to also add in the gratuities, okay? The gratuities is $144, okay, for the total of the trip. So for the whole 8 nights, that will be $144 per person, per guest, all right? So if it's 2 people in the room, I will need to add $288 for the gratuity fee. Okay, so the gratuity is not fixed in the group rate because they normally give people like an option to add that on. But it's just, I'm telling you, family, even though I've only been on 3 cruises, but I have done a lot of training since February of 2024 up until now. And you got to remind yourself, I've also been doing training that I wasn't necessarily getting paid for prior to February 2024. It will just save you so much money, so much time, and it will save you many, many headaches if you just choose to just go ahead and pay your gratuities before you even get on the ship. So when you're booking with me, I'm just going to go ahead and add the gratuity. So there'll be no issues in that area. Now, you're more than welcome to give your room attendant an extra tip throughout the week or at the end of your cruise. You're more than welcome to tip your dining room host or anyone else that you feel like you've connected with and they have helped you a great deal, like even with drinks and things like that. You want to give people an extra tip, that's completely up to you and your discretion. But just note that you will pay the gratuities at the time of booking. So anything else that you choose to give is just extra and it's just a bonus. So you're not necessarily obligated to do so. Okay. So that is the Celebrity Silhouette top tier friendship cruise. And I just hope and pray that many of you would choose to come and join us. Okay. At the moment, I do not know exactly what the group is going to plan on doing for the excursions or what we plan on doing when we get to the ABC Islands, when we get to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. But I'm sure we'll figure it out. I really would love to go to the beach. I love the beach. I love a good beach. I love the sand. I love just the beach water. I love the sunshine. So I am definitely going to plan to do my best to find a great beach resort to go to in those areas for sure. So that's all the information at the moment for Celebrity Silhouette. Just go ahead and book that today, okay? So that's the information for that. So let's get into the second cruise of this year. Second group cruise of this year is the Celebrity Reflection. So this cruise is called Reflect with Friends. Okay, Reflect with Friends. This is happening in December. This is happening December 12th. Okay, this is happening December 12th to the 15th. December 12th through the 15th. Now, this cruise, I have to keep reminding myself, this cruise leaves out on a Friday. This cruise leaves out on a Friday, and we come back on a Monday morning. We come back Monday morning. So it was 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we come back Monday morning. So this is December 12th through the 15th. This is just a quick time of reflection with yourself and with friends, December 12th through the December 15th. I found this cruise back the beginning of, I think that was the first weekend of June, and I was very, very surprised to see the deal that it had. And when I first booked it, it was $619, and at this moment, it's down to $553 as of today on the consumer website. Now, once again, you have to understand when it comes to any type of travel has a tendency to go up and go down on pricing. They increase, they decrease at any given moment. Okay. Now, with Celebrity Cruises specifically, I noticed that they kind of follow the daily price. Today's price is what they say. So I even checked it this morning before church, and I noticed today's price for this trip for December 12th through December 15th. If you're going to go as a solo and you're going to have an inside room, that cost comes out to be $553 and some change. I don't remember the exact change amount, but right now that rate is $553 for 3 nights. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to find nowhere, if you were going to do a vacation in Fort Lauderdale during that time, you will not be able to, that's 553 divided by 3. That's $184.33 a night. I was just looking at hotels, legit. I was just looking at hotels last night in Fort Lauderdale because I still need to book my hotel for the November cruise. And legit, the cheapest, I'm being 100% honest with you, the cheapest room that I saw so far that was decent, even at the hotel that I was at last year. So I looked at the hotel that I stayed in last November. It was $238 a night. $238 a night. So you already in the green. You already above the green if you go ahead and book this cruise for $553 for 3 nights. Because if you're going to stay by yourself, let's just say you're going to stay at a hotel in that area, and it was $238 a night. So let's put that in the calculator. That's 238 times 3. That's $714 just with your room, just with your hotel accommodation. We didn't even include your food for those 3 days. We haven't even included your entertainment for those 3 days. So you're going to be easily coming out by $1,000 for a 3-night vacation at Fort Lauderdale. But if you choose to do the cruise, you do $553 divided by 3, you get $184.33. Once again, what comes with that price? And the price that I just gave you, the gratuities is in that price. Because I think gratuities is at 54, I think it's $54 at this moment per person for those 3 nights, which is like incredible. Incredible deal, folks. So for $553 for 3 nights, what you will receive your stateroom, of course. And this room is based on the inside room. So once again, you just have your walls, you just have everything you need. You just don't have any, you just won't have a balcony or a window, which is absolutely fine. You will survive, okay? Now, yes, they do have, I do believe they do have some ocean views or balcony rooms. So if you would like to have a balcony or have an ocean view room, just let me know, but just know the price will be higher, okay? Because the price that I just shared with you is specifically for the inside room for the December Reflect with Friends group cruise, okay? So with this being said, $553, you will have your room, okay? Taxes and fees, port expenses covered. Your gratuities is in that amount of $553. That's just amazing. I don't think y'all realize how much of that, like, that is a sick deal. I don't understand. Y'all really don't understand how much of that is a really incredible deal that you're getting. You're also getting, once again, you're getting all of your food. Ocean View Cafe, main dining room, the Mass Grill. Okay, now with this $553 deal, you will be responsible for any specialty drinks. So this does not include like a drink package. This does not include your Wi-Fi. Okay, so if you want a drink package or you want Wi-Fi, you will need to spend extra for that, which you will survive, because when I was in my on my cruise last November 2024 on Celebrity Apex, I did not have a drink package. I did not have an internet package, but guess what? I was okay, because guess what? You are on their guest, you're on their, you will log in on the app as a guest. So you will have access to Celebrity Cruises app while you're on the ship without having to have of internet package. So you'll still be able to see everything that's going on the ship. You can also be able to communicate with anyone that's on the ship through that app. Okay, I didn't have any issues with it. I really like the app. So I didn't need the internet, because when I go on vacation, I don't want to be on my phone anyway. Okay, I'm not on that. When I'm on vacation, I'm not working. Okay, I'm just not that type of person. Like when I'm off, like when I have there's a preparation for me when I am about to take vacation, for work. And everyone that knows me, that's working with me, knows when I'm going on vacation, and they know what to do when I'm not there. Okay, because I do not plan on having a whole bunch of contact when I'm on vacation. Okay, so me not having internet on vacation, I'm okay with that. But if you're a type of person that needs internet, you will have to pay extra for that. Let me get some water. So $553, you get all of that. Where are we going? You may be wondering, where are we going? We are going to Key West, Florida. I'm 37 years old, and I cannot believe I have never been to Key West, Florida. This year, I will be going to Key West, Florida. Okay, we're going to Key West, Florida for a day, and then we will be going to Bimini, Bahamas. Okay, so what I'm hoping to do for Key West, I'm hoping to do like some type of like tour, like maybe just use like their trolley and just explore the city. And I also want to try the key lime pie, because supposedly the key lime pie was created in Key West. So I definitely want to try the original key lime pie. And when we go to Bimini, Bahamas, I would like to go to one of the resorts. Actually, one of the groups that I'm on for Celebrity Cruises, they actually recommended one of the beach resorts And it's like, I think it's only like $50 for a day pass. So I'm definitely thinking about doing that for that. So yeah, so we're going to just Key West and we're going to Bimini, and that's plenty. That's 2 different places in 3 nights. That's plenty. Okay. So celebrity. So what is the purpose? So what is the purpose of this particular group? Okay. So the purpose of this is knowing that, like I said, I know many of you that is listening to this, you are working all year. You are working most of the week. Some of you are working Monday through Friday. Some of you are working Monday through Saturday. Some of you are working all 7 days out the week. I know that some of you are singles. I know some of you are married. I know some of you are single parents. I know some of you are married with kids. And I know that some of you are in church or church ministry, and I know some of you are really into your community. Y'all do really great work. I know that many of you are nonstop. You are nonstop back to back. And here we are at the end of the year, and I think it's so good and great for you to give yourself permission to be able to reflect with yourself, reflect with the Lord, reflect with some great friends on what has taken place throughout the year, and is be able to have that time to rest, recharge, restore yourself, and just fill your cup. Just fill your mental, emotional, physical cup, and spiritual cup. It's absolutely okay to get away. As a Christian believer, I am a firm believer and advocate to making sure that we take time, for ourselves, to make sure that we're taking that Sabbath, making sure we're resting once a week, making sure we're getting a decent amount of sleep each night. I think all those things is just so valuable for our continued health, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Who would have ever thought when I chose back in January of 2021 that I will not work on Fridays? And I know some of you like, Kim, how you not work on Fridays? Sometimes I see you on social media posting stuff about travel. That's okay. I'm not really working. Like what you're saying, I'm literally laying in bed and like sharing information with you all. But hey, if I get a call from you, I'm going to answer it, whatever. I may or may not. But like I said, give me 24, 48 hours. And that's probably why, because I probably need some rest. But I remember when I decided to not work on Fridays, I noticed I didn't lose any money. I literally was getting paid the exact same, or I even was getting paid more. And I remember January of 2021, I took a $10,000 pay cut because I chose to take a leap of faith and work for a dear friend of mine for her private practice. And I knew I wasn't going to be making as much as money that I was making, but I wanted my peace of mind. I got tired. I got tired of the anxiety. I got tired of having anxiety attacks. I got tired of being bullied at work. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this pay cut. And with this pay cut, I requested that when I went full time with this private practice, will it be okay for me to take off Fridays? And of course, my former supervisor was like, of course, make your own schedule. And, my life has been completely changed for the better when I had decided to take Fridays off. It's just such a breath of fresh air just to know that, my Fridays are technically like Thursdays now, or sometimes they're Wednesdays sometimes, because Thursdays I use as like my administration day. And Fridays are just such a beautiful day. It's just such a beautiful. So I say all that to say, fam, some of you feel like, well, if I take these 3, 4, or 5 days off from work, I could be losing money. Yes, you may not get paid. You may not. If you're someone like me, if you don't work, you don't get paid. I don't work a traditional 9 to 5 that I'm guaranteed to get a paycheck every week, or every other week, or the 15th or the 30th. I'm guaranteed to get paid every month. No, I live by faith, and God's been taking really good care of me. Thank the Lord. It's so interesting to me how I always wanted to get paid every week. And the thing about it is, If I stay on business, if I stand on business and do what I got to do, guess what? I normally get paid every week, which is an amazing, it's such an amazing feeling. And, it was a sacrifice for sure, but I have realized the hard way that, if I don't take that time for myself, the cycle will continue. That toxic cycle on, not treating myself well will continue. So I say all this to say, for all of my friends, even my family, you're a friend too. Even though you're family, you're my friend too. So even family members, I encourage you. You have not done anything this year for yourself. You have done no vacation for yourself, and you can't go on this trip in November. You can surely go on this trip in December. Okay, surely go on this trip in December if you can't go on the one in November. Okay, so in December 12th through the 15th, 12, 13, 14. We come back on that 15th. So we leave that Friday. We come back that Monday morning. If you live in Florida, there's a possibility you can go back to work that Monday. I'm not going back to work that Monday because, it's not happening. It's just not happening. I'll go back to work that Tuesday. All right. So I definitely want to encourage you all to do that. I encourage you all to book this December trip ASAP. If you're planning on booking this December trip for that $553 rate, you will need to contact me by 11 o'clock tonight, because it's going to take me it'll probably take me at least 15 minutes to get you booked. But with that, you will also need to share with me a card authorization form, which I can send to you in email, through email. Once again, my email is beautifultravel247@gmail.com. Beautifultravel247@gmail.com. That's BEAUTIFUL. Beautiful Travel, TRAVEL 247@gmail.com. I do have the card authorization form. I can send that over to you for you to fill out, but you want to do that before 11 p.m. Okay, so don't reach out to me asking me to fill out the form, because it may take you a little bit to fill out the form. And when 12 o'clock hits, that's a new day. When 12 a.m. hits, it is now June 30th. And that means that price could very well increase or decrease, and we don't know. So you don't want to risk it, fam. Let's say you book it today for the $553 and say the price drops $10 on Monday. Guess what? There's a possibility you can get that adjusted to today's price, just depending on the promotion. Okay, some promotionals only allow the decrease if it's not for new bookings. Okay, so it just depends on the day, but you don't want to risk this rate. So I can very see that this rate can go up, because the original rate, I think, is like $900, which I could definitely see that being possible, because you're getting everything included. But $553, fam, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that rate. You just can't. So I really want to encourage you to please make sure you book this December 12th through the 15th on the Celebrity Reflection. Beautiful ship. I have not been on this ship yet, but I will. And when I do, I'll make sure to share it all with you, so you will know for your future cruises. All right. So that is called Reflect with Friends. All right. I want you all to take that time at the end of the year, because this is literally right after. This is like 2 weeks. I think if I look at my calendar, I think it's 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. So just give you a moment. I'm going to look at the calendar really quick here. So December 12th, that is, so Thanksgiving is November 27th. So that is literally 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. So you have to go through all the Thanksgiving stuff. You may have to cook, or you may have to help. You may have to travel for Thanksgiving, or you had guests over for Thanksgiving. Then you have to go to work after Thanksgiving for 2 weeks. Wow. what amazing thing you can do for yourself is to plan ahead. Go ahead and plan a whole July, August, September, October, November, a whole 5 months in advance, for the end of the year trip for yourself. For you to reflect with the Lord, reflect with yourself, reflect with friends, and have that time of rest, relaxation, recharge, rejuvenate, fill your cup, set that boundary for yourself, have that self-care. And then when you come back, it will literally be a week and a half until Christmas. Actually, it'll be 10 when we come back on that 15th. That would be 10 days. It marks 10 days to the exact for Christmas. 9 days for Christmas Eve. And it's like, wow, I already gave myself something I needed before I have to once again pour myself into everyone else. All right. So you already gave yourself something for the end of the year. So just note that I would love to have you. Final payment due for the December trip, for the December Celebrity Reflection payment needs to be made September 26th. September 26th, Friday. I know many of you get paid on Fridays. So September 26th is the final due date for to make that payment. And for the November, I forgot to share with you all, final payment for the November trip is July 18th. July 18th is the final due date, if I'm not mistaken. Go back and check. Either it's July 18th or July 17th. But like I said, I know many of you get paid on that Friday, so I believe it's that 18th. So July 18th, Friday, July 18th is the final due date. The final due date for the November Celebrity Silhouette. September 26th, Friday is the last day for final payment for the Celebrity Reflection. So let's come out and join me on those 2 cruises, okay? So something else I want to share with you all, as well as I have on my description, right? Step-by-step process when it comes to cruise. So this is some things that I want you all to know when you are cruising on either one of these trips, or even if you don't cruise on one of these sailings. These are some things you need to know to prepare yourself, okay, on that process, that pre-cruise, during cruise, and post-cruise ordeal, okay? So number 1, of course, you have booked your cruise. Great, awesome, great. So proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. Give the Lord thanks that He provided for you for this trip. Okay, once you do that, you booked your trip. Number 2 is you want to make sure you stay on top of your payments. Okay, if you have not paid your cruise in full, okay, but if you have not paid your cruise in full, you need to make a schedule. And if you choose for me to be your independent travel agent, I will help you to make sure you stay on top of your payment schedule, because more than likely we will have a payment schedule for you. All right. And so I will be contacting you right around those times that we have agreed for those payments to be made. So you want to stay on top of your pay. You want to stay on top of your payments. You want to make your final payment before the due date. The due date that your travel agent gives to you. Okay, there's a reason why your travel agent is giving you the date that they are given to you for your due date. Make sure you do that. Also, what you need to do in that process, either right after you book, or before you make that final payment, go ahead and get connected to your cruise app. Many cruises right now have apps at this moment, okay? Celebrity Cruises, I really enjoy their app. I like their app. Fairly user friendly for me. Make sure you go on there, because on there you will see, kind of give you a countdown on your cruise. It tells you like your like the days of the week. It tells you where the ship is. So it's just a really nice app to have as you're preparing for your cruise. Also on that app, it will tell you some suggested excursions for your ports. So if you want to book ahead of time, you can do all of that right in your app. So make sure, doesn't matter what cruise line you're cruising, this is not necessarily just specific for Celebrity, but you want to make sure you get that cruise app downloaded on your phone. Okay, so that's something else you need to do. Also, what you need to do in preparation for your cruise is that you want to start immediately considering, like, at least, I would say at least, let's see here, September, October. You want to give yourself at least at the minimum 3 months to go ahead and book, at the minimum 3 months. So generally this can be done like 6 months ahead of time. I'll be honest with you, fam, I still have not booked my room yet for my November cruise, because I've been looking for the best deals. I'm still trying to look for the best deals. So I'm going to plan on, I need to make some phone calls this week. I'm going to make some phone calls this week to some hotels in the area, and hopefully I can get that booked. Hopefully this week if I can. If not, I just have to keep waiting. But hopefully, prayerfully, I can go ahead and get that done. Sorry about that, fam. I think somebody was trying to call me. But let's get that. Let's go ahead and consider, when are you planning on leaving for your cruise? So this is my recommendation as a travel agent, okay? I would recommend coming into your port, the port that your cruise ship is leaving, get there 2 days prior to your sailing. So let's use the example of the November cruise. So the November cruise, we are leaving November 15th. It is highly recommended to come into Fort Lauderdale on November 13th, 2 days before the ship sails. Why 2 days? Why can't I just get there the day of or the day before? Well, first of all, I don't recommend, and I will never advocate for you to come into port on the day of. It's too risky, fam. It is too risky. It is too risky. Why would you give yourself that headache? Why would you give yourself all of that anxiety? It's too risky. Anything could happen. You could be subjected to delays, and you could be subjected and missing out on your ship, because the ship will not wait on you. So don't even think about trying to come in on the day of. Just don't do it. Don't ask me, is that a good idea? Because I'm going to tell you it's an absolutely bad idea. Don't do it. Some of you may say, well, can I just come in the day before? Yeah, you can come in the day before. I know a lot of people do that. But I just want to be very honest with you all. Let's consider everything that's been happening between 2024 and 2025 when it comes to these airlines and these flights. I don't know what's going on in the world of air with these, airline companies, the air traffic control. I don't know what's going on. I don't have no idea what's going on, but there's something going on where it's causing a lot of delays. Do you all remember what happened last year when people were literally delayed for 2-3 days? Some people were delayed 4 days, a whole week. I was told by someone I know, said that their mother was stranded for a whole week because of that delay. Stranded for a whole week. That's the whole time of your cruise. So, fam, you don't want that. You do not want that to happen, okay? Because if there's like a major delay, guess what? You still have plenty. If you plan to get there 2 days ahead of time, and there's a major delay that's saying, okay, we can't get you in until the next day. Well, okay, we can try that. We could just fly out the next day. That gives you a whole nother day, and you're still going to be there a whole day beforehand. Also, too, if you feel like that's too risky, you be like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and drive. I'll just drive. Okay, so that gives you plenty of time to drive, or it gives you an opportunity to book with another airline, right? So you want to leave some room for error because, unfortunately, the world of air travel is just not as dependable as it once were. We hope and pray that things will get better in the near future, but we want to take these things into consideration. When I was in Fort Lauderdale last November, I told myself that I would like to get into town like 3 days ahead of time. So I would like to try to get in town that November 12th because I really, really enjoyed Fort Lauderdale. So I told myself, well, you know what? Maybe next year I will try my best to come in an extra day early. So that's what I would recommend. You want to start thinking about how many days before you leave that you would like to be in your port of call city. I would highly recommend 2 days. I would highly recommend at least 2 days. One day beforehand, okay, but you want to leave room for error. So I would stick to the highly recommended suggestion of 2 days in advance. Okay. If you want to if you would like to make your pre-cruise special and like a pre-cruise vacation, maybe consider doing 3 days ahead of time. The choice is yours, but I will never recommend for you to come on a day up. So with that being said, you want to go ahead and book your hotel. So either or, I guess it's okay. Or you could book both in the same day. It's really your comfort level on that. Last year, I remember I booked my hotel first, and then I booked my hotel last year in May. Found a really great deal. I think I paid $227 a day, and then I paid my airfare that August, and I got a really, really great deal. I think I paid like $279 round trip from Reagan DCA airport to Fort Lauderdale airport nonstop with Southwest. All my my bags, I didn't have to pay for none of my bags, which was amazing. And $279 round trip. You just can't beat that. And so I feel like I had a great deal, and I did that. It was September, October, November. So I did that 3 months ahead of time. So like I said, you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait longer than 3 months. So at least 3 months. You don't want to do anything less than 3 months. If I'm trying to say that, so you want to give yourself at least 3 months to book your hotel and to book your flight for your pre-cruise, okay? So you go ahead and do that. Now, if you want me to be your independent travel agent, now depending on, sometimes I can get a package for you if you're going to do hotel stay, and I could do also flight, but or I can just do hotel. You could just book your own flight. All right, so we can do that. Depending on cruise lines, sometimes you could do airfare as well. I know with Celebrity, they do have an option that you could book airfare through them. So you also have that option as well. And some other cruise lines do the same thing, but the choice is yours. Also, another thing to prepare for. So we already mentioned you want to get there at least 2 days ahead of time. You want to book your hotel. You want to book your flight. Another thing you want to do is to start making a list of possible things that you're going to need to bring with you. So you want to go ahead and start writing out your packing list. All right. You want to do that about I would say recommend 3 months before your trip. Start writing out. Also, too, in another video, I'm going to show you some things that you can also consider bringing on your trip. Like the luggage tags are really great. Also, of course, seasickness, tablets or medication or patches. That's something I did not do last year, and I should have, because I was not feeling well the first, I would say like the second or third day. I did get a little seasick, but it was manageable. I was able to recover okay, and absolutely loved my trip. So even having even though the first 2 days was a bit rough for me, it did not affect my trip at all. But this year I will be getting the patches and I will be getting the tablets this year. I'm not getting caught up this year. I will be getting those this year. Another thing you want to make sure, step-by-step process as well, when it comes to flights. So for those of you that have not already, definitely if you're going to be flying out of the Fort Lauderdale airport or even Miami for the November and December cruise, I would highly recommend for you all to do your best to sign up for TSA pre-check. Okay, you need more information on that, just let me know and I'll send you the link for you to get started with that. Last November, I did not have TSA pre-check, and I said I will not be doing this ever again like this. I don't think I ever remember an airport being that busy. I think that's the busy of all the years I've ever traveled. I would say that was probably the busiest time I've ever been at an airport. It was, the lines were so sickening, and I said, I will not be doing this next year. I will not be doing this again with myself. I just will not. I just won't be doing this again. So, TSA pre-check, my fam. I believe it'll be more than worth it. So start preparing for that. Like I said, I could give you the link to that, and you can start working on that. Far as what I know, you sign up, do an application, then you have to go in, do another interview, and it could take up to a week or it could take up to 60 days. So like I said, you want to get this stuff done at least 3 months prior to your trip, prior to your cruise. Get those things set in order. Also, too, in preparation, 45 days before your cruise, you will be able to check in. Okay, like boarding an airplane, right? You board on a cruise. Okay, it's a means of transportation. So 45 days prior to your cruise, you will be able to check in, and you check in based on the time. So I think the time is anywhere between like 10 to like 2 or something like that. I think that's a window. I don't know. I know for sure. I just think that's like a guess. Okay. Some people have early onboarding if you're in like the retreat specifically, or any other cruise line. Like, if you're cruising like first class is suites. So if you're cruising like their suites, you will get like more than likely priority boarding. All right. But if you're just getting like basic stateroom, you would need to choose your boarding time. So 45 days ahead before your cruise, in your cruise app, you will log in your cruise app, and you will 45 days, and it opens up 12 a.m. 12 a.m. I know for Celebrity for sure. 12 a.m. You're able to check in. And I remember I was on there as 12 a.m. last year, and all the morning appointments were taken. I think the earliest that I had was like 12, but I was still late to the cruise terminal. I didn't get there till like after 1. That was not my fault. Our van broke down several times, and it was nerve-wracking. So next time I'm going to either do a cab. I think next time I'm just going to do a cab next time. I will not be doing the transportation that I did last time. But anyways, with all that being said, you're going to check in. You will check in on the time that you plan on going to the ship. Okay. So pick a great time for yourself that's realistic and reasonable for you. Make sure you do that. Once you do that, you want to make sure you print out your boarding information. And I'm so thankful to the Lord that I was able to print out my boarding information because for whatever reason, when I arrived to the cruise terminal, I could not open up my app. I couldn't open up my app, and I could not get to, it wouldn't let me sign into my account, my Celebrity Cruises account. I don't know why. I saw several people, I saw several people was able to log in and on their apps check in, and for whatever reason, I couldn't. My phone was charged. I had signal. It was just the weirdest thing. So I am so thankful I was able to I'm just thankful that I had paper copy of my boarding pass. So I know that may sound kind of archaic, ancient, old school, old fashioned, but we still have to remember that yes, technology is great, but technology is still not perfect. And technology still has its own errors and flaws that still comes with it. So, you don't want to run the risk of your phone dying or your phone blacking out or having a situation that I had where I just couldn't access my app. It was just the weirdest thing. I just couldn't access my app. But thankfully, I had my boarding pass. So that worked out perfect. And I had no issues with checking in. So please make sure you print out your boarding pass. Have that with you, okay, in preparation. So also too in preparation as well, preparing for your trip. You want to also set like a budget for how much money you want to spend for your hotel for your pre or post cruise. Last year I just went home right after the cruise. I was done spending money. I said I'm not staying another day. And I planned it that way because I knew I was going to spend a lot of money. And I did pretty good actually. I still had quite a bit of money still left afterwards. So I think I did fairly well. But I didn't have any plans to stay an extra day. So I decided to just fly out the day I came back. Okay. But you want to create a budget, okay, on how much money, what is your range on what you're planning on spending on your pre-cruise hotel stay or your pre-cruise house stay, whatever. For those of you that have family in the area or friends in the area, great for you. Save your coins, save that money for sure. But budget how much, like what is your max amount of money that you're planning on staying for a day or for those, for those 2 or 3 days before you come in? Is it, and I'll be very honest with you, when it comes to specifically Fort Lauderdale, more than likely you're not going to be finding anything cheaper than about 240. Like I said last night, the cheapest thing I saw was 238, and with everything, taxes and fees, it was like $800 for 3 nights, and that's a bit pricey. To be honest with you. That's like a whole cruise. That's like a whole 3 night, 4 night cruise. So that is a little pricey for a pre-cruise hotel. So you want to be very honest with yourself. You want to be realistic and reasonable though. Okay, you can't be saying, "Well, I would like to my limit is $150." Well, you may be staying at a 1-star or 2-star hotel, maybe. You want to be realistic here. You To get something decent, be prepared to be spending at least about $240 a night, to be very honest with you. If hotel ratings don't matter to you, hotel reviews don't matter to you, cleanliness, customer service don't matter to you, go ahead and book it on your own, because I'm not in a business of just giving I'm about quality. I'm about best deal, best quality, best value. So I don't want to I don't book 1-star, 2-star hotels. I don't. Okay, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. Okay, and up. That's what we do over here at Beautiful Time Travel. Okay, so I'm not here just to give you a cheap deal. Best deal, best quality, best value. There's a huge difference there. So be for real with yourself. What is your maximum hotel budget? You also want to make a budget with your food for those pre-cruise day. Are you going to be cooking? If you're going to stay in a house, or if you're staying in a hotel, more than likely you're going to be having to spend money on probably lunch or dinner. Depending on the hotel, some hotels offer complimentary breakfast. So that may be something you want to look into when you're booking a hotel. Am I getting complimentary breakfast? That can save you a lot of money when it comes to food. So make a realistic budget for that. Make a budget for your transportation. Is the hotel doing complimentary airport transfers? I have not yet found a hotel that does complimentary transportation to the cruise. So hotels may have a transportation service, but you have to pay extra for. Okay, so you want to make sure. I would say about average, you want to spend about $30 getting to the port. Like I said, a lot of hotels, they have complimentary transportation to the hotel, which is amazingly complimentary. So if you don't mind a little wait sometimes, or being in the same vehicle with someone else, that may be a great option for you. So make a budget. So make a budget for your pre-cruise spending, your hotel, your airfare, your food budget, your transportation. Also, transportation from coming back, right, from the cruise to if you're going to do a hotel after the cruise, or you're going to just go straight to the airport, make a budget for that. Okay, make a budget for that. Make a budget for your excursions. Start thinking about, like I said, for just use an example with Celebrity. With Celebrity, they give you like suggested recommendations, right, for excursions. So you could kind of look at the average amounts. Consider how much money do you want to be spending for your excursions, or you plan on just doing something on your own. Figure out how much money you want to be spending on that. Okay, it just alleviates a lot of stress and anxiety for your trip, because all of that's already taken care of. And also too, in preparation, if you have not already done it, make sure you create a checking and savings account just for travel. It's separate from your business or work checking accounts or personal checking accounts. You want a separate checking and savings account just for your travel. Okay, it makes a world of a difference. And I know, of course, many of us use a credit card for like hotel or airports, and that's for your flight, which is fine. Okay, but when you have this travel card, it's specifically for your travel, so it's guilt-free, it's stress-free, and it's not attached to any other accounts. Because more than likely, if you're going on an 8-night cruise, or you're going to be gone for 9, 10, 11, or 12 days, more than likely in that 2-week period of time, you're going to have bills coming out of your main checking or savings accounts. So you want to make sure you have something completely separate that you don't have to worry about keep looking at and checking. You have this whole separate account only for travel, that you're only spending for travel. Bring cash to prepare yourself to bring cash. Have an envelope system. That's what I did. Have an envelope system of different envelopes stating how much money is for each thing that you're doing. Envelope for tips, envelope for food, envelope for transportation. Like, just have it organized when it comes to that. Okay. What else at this moment? That's a lot of like great things at this moment. Also, consider what books are you going to bring? Books to read on the airplane, books to read for your pre-cruise day, book to read when you're on your cruise, or when you come back from your cruise on your flight. Okay, so I think that's a really good start with your pre-cruise step-by-step process. All right. After cruise, like I said, you want to prepare yourself on your transportation from cruise port to airport, or cruise port to your hotel, and hotel to airport. You want to make sure you already have that taken care of. before you even, that three, like I said, 3 months before you even leave for your trip. You would have that taken care of. All right. Also, too, depending on whatever type of work that you do, you business owner or you are 9 to 5 employee, make sure you go ahead now to take that time off. Make sure you have any type of preparation letters. Like for me, I'm a counselor, so I prep my clients and colleagues that I know that's like I use as emergency contacts. I let them know ahead of time to help me out, and so I'm gonna have that agreement on that ahead of time. So it's not like a week before or 2 weeks of time. Like people know months before I go on vacation, okay, or go for these business training travel trips, okay. So you want to make sure you have that under control. I'm gonna leave it there at the moment. I know there's so much more, but as time gets closer, we will definitely discuss it. But go ahead. Once again, I'm going to get off of here. But if you are interested in the top tier friendship cruise, is open for anyone. And I updated the flyer. The flyer is updated on Facebook. I believe it's updated on Instagram. If not, I will update it on Instagram. But it's updated. You will see in the description, it will say open to friends of Kim Marie McLeod. So just reach out to me. I'm excited to book you that tonight. If you are a single, you will need to book with me tomorrow because I have to actually get you booked by phone because, like I said, the rooms are set up as 2 guest occupancy. But if 2 people are going for the top tier friendship cruise in November, I can book you directly on the portal, no problem. But if you're planning on coming for December, I can book you that tonight or tomorrow. But like I said, today for sure is $553. So you want to make sure if you're going on the December trip, you want to book that like right now because tomorrow, June 30th, I don't know what the price will be until 12 a.m. So you want to book that ASAP. If you have any questions on what I shared with you thus far, let me know. Once again, how can you contact me? Phone number 757-685-2977. 757-685-2977. If I do not respond to you immediately, please leave a voicemail. Leave me a voicemail and text me. So this evening, I'm going to keep my phone on. I'll be up for a little bit this evening. But like I said, you have until about 11. You have before 11 to reach out to me. Before 11, you just going to have to wait till Monday. Okay? You just going to have to wait till Monday. So go ahead and do that. Once again, final payment for November cruise is due July 18th. That's a Friday. Final payment for December cruise is September 26th. So reach out to me. Anything I've stated to you already, any step-by-step process, I'll be glad to help you with. Okay, I will be happy to be your independent travel agent in this. But I'll talk to you all later. This is all that I have. I know I said a lot, and I'm getting tired, and I have more training I have to do this evening. So I'll talk to y'all later. I love you all, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Happy traveling, and thanks for tuning in for Sunday Travel with your beautiful time travel independent travel agent, Kim Marie McLeod. Talk to y'all later. Bye.